it's crying out for it. So that's kind of where I am. I'm like, I recognize that Dr. Rao, and I want to get as much wisdom as I can from you, because I do realize my spirit realizes that your spirit has something to offer me.
It is more like a ongoing journey, Melissa. You don't have to have everything on that particular 2 days.
No, I know. It's not going to be like a instant fix. And I know that there's things that I'm going to have to continue to work on, but I do want your guidance. And that's what I'm asking for. And I will, take some time and earnestly think about
what it is it's a retreat when we take a look at small changes that anybody can do. But those small changes can be permanent changes.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. Simple things. And I have made a lot of small changes, but I do know that there are things that I need to continue to change and work on. And that's where I am seeking your assistance, my friend.
Yeah. So it's a kind of ongoing education and empowerment. And actually, I did one talk which you will see in the retreat is about what is the optimal or the highest empowerment a human being can achieve. Okay, not that you have to achieve, but what is it? And I'm going to describe that, how that was there before, and how our occupation with external things, including technology, taking us away from the empowered self. Right?
Yeah, I understand.
I use the technology, but I'm not a slave to it.
Right.
I kind of
absolutely, and that's what we have to learn is how to let it help us, right? Instead of distracting us.
Yeah, people are taking our attention away. So how do we participate in this attention economy where people are trying to rob our attention?
Well, and having ADHD, that's something that's hard for me because my attention sometimes goes in a zillion different directions. And I'm like, oh, focus.
That's a big problem, attention deficit. Even though you don't have the ADHD, a lot of people have that, okay? That is there. But apart from that, a lot of people don't realize that they could be really happy and they're also really balanced within, and then come out radiating with compassion and care to serve the world.
Oh yeah, I mean, I try not to let it affect my happiness, and that's something that I have been noticing lately. Is that that's something that it's a realization that happiness is a choice. You can choose to be happy no matter what the circumstances are around you, and sometimes it's harder than other times to make that choice.
Some of these enhanced human beings I was talking about, they have this non-causal joy. For no reason, they are joyful. Not that they are careless, not that they are indifferent, but because they understood their inner mental process, emotional process, and all that, they are apart from that, but then they can be joyful because that's not impaired by anything outside. We're going to talk about it.
Absolutely. I do believe that there's joy in our hearts, and sometimes we let other things get in the way of that joy.
That's it, being heartful. That's it. As a human being, we have the heart, we have the intelligence to go and reach it, but our minds are so occupied by us that we forgot our heart. Return back to the heartfulness, then you will experience your natural, non-causal happiness and also non-causal joy. Spontaneous, like a child, that will be there. But we kind of allowed our mind to dominate us so much, and we think that's everything. That's a kind of see, even in the small discussion we can go pretty deep. So Janet, you want to come up and ask me anything that you want to ask me about the retreat? Melissa is the one signed up. I'm glad, I'll have to do even for her, so. But other people also can prepare the way I said. Like I said, 17th and 18th January, we're going to have this retreat each day, 3 hours, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time. That way, you will really spend some time on this, prepared, and also be dedicated to that, and also take home whatever the things that you want to note down, and you can be having an ongoing communication with me. That way you will be working on your stuff, and then you can also choose to attend to retreats, maybe a couple of them, or maybe down the line twice a year, something like that. But I'm going to do that every 3 months, so that people who are doing it can, they are only entry fee only charge, but then ongoing communication with me will be um, through my Calendly. You can book and then come and talk to me for half an hour exclusively for yourself. That way you don't have to pay multiple times, But then each time the second we're going to allow a small charge to cover our expenses. After you register, you will receive a workbook, and you will receive uh, more like an assessment form. And after you attend the conference or the retreat, we are going to give you a resource list that were discussed in the retreat, so that you can continue your um, continuous exercise of getting on with your own enhancement program, if you have any. A lot of people may not pay attention to their health and wellness. They may be working very hard. They may be doing. So we're going to talk about entrepreneurship, how you can be effective in that, how can you come bring in your leadership qualities and all that. So it's like a manual for life, taking from the ancient wisdom to scientific medicine, modern, right? So it's a vast thing. We're all students, ongoing students. My intention is, as a physician, as a ancient yoga student, as a Advaita student, all these ancient things are so complex, so deep, so simple, but then they are very, very profound and deep. So I don't say I'm an expert in that, but I'm a student. I may know a lot, but doesn't mean that I don't feel I need to learn a lot about that. Both scientific medicine is advancing, both genetics, microbiome, so many things, right? But at the same time, we're having this thing also. Okay, so it's a question of understanding. There is so much knowledge available to us, but we conveniently forget it or get unconscious about it, and bring those things back to you, so that you will be a vital, energetic, well adjusted, and human being that is enjoying life with a good body, focused mind, open heart. And the more you want to take self responsibility, the more you want to look into areas of life, the better it would be, right? People come to the doctors and other people, healers, only when they have distress. You don't have to really go through that way. You can be proactive about really taking care of the known wellness issue. Like you have to have a nutrition that is vital, that gives you vital energy, right? So you want to do that, and then you want to really be available for optimal routines to keep your body in shape, your metabolism working very well. You are not getting obese, or you are not getting too weak, or you are old. You have to withdraw something. All those things will not be there. So human beings really mastered this for centuries. Modern people are subjecting themselves to certain pressures in society that is robbing them this wellness. Okay, why do you have to live in America where the $1 out of $5 is spent to health care, but many are living with morbidity of chronic illnesses? I don't think we need to. Okay, and you can age very gracefully. You can age very well, and you can be really do a lot of stuff that you are not doing. You may discover in the retreat You should be doing all these things you are not doing. But don't go by everything at once. Take it easy. Be kind to yourself. Allow small changes to come into your, and then keep in touch with me constantly about your progress, about your lack of progress, about your slipping off. Because what we are trying to do is identify the conditioned elephant of habits, right? And then recondition your elephant of habit so that you are falling out of the bad habits and you are coming to good habits. Not a bad or good, but more like a, what doesn't work for you, what works for you, right? It takes time. Just because you are resolved one day doesn't mean your elephant of habit has gone. It will come back the next day. So important thing is keep that continuous, easy, doable, and enjoyable. Lots of times, if you eat good food for 14 days, you start to enjoy the good food. Otherwise, you feel like it's a punishment. I can't eat salt, I can't eat oil, I can't eat all the spices and all those can get. No, that's not the way. The way is to withdraw the elephant of habits of eating only for the taste to looking for the taste, but beyond that, what is the vital nutrition part? How can I digest this? What are my qualities in me that are there in the food I eat, and that is compatible to me so that I can digest better? You get it? So that kind of perspective, it's not like a, oh, only I will eat Mediterranean food and then I'll get all the energy. Yeah, Mediterranean food is good, but you may not get all the energy. You got to have superfoods in your real food. Don't eat out of cans. Don't eat out of packaged foods. Or there are so many preservatives there that are not good for us. Okay, there are so many carcinogens too. So anyway, I don't want to go into particulars of anything. The whole idea is look at ourselves, by ourselves, and not with an opinion, not with some jealous. No, more like a casual. Am I sleeping well? Do I get up with energy in the morning? Do I stay with my presence in the morning, or do I allow my mind go all over? Do I pay attention to everything that I do? Do I react for everything? How do I inner turmoil goes on? How do I continuously think? All these things are modern phenomena, right? So we're going to first look at what was the optimal enhanced human was like in ancient time. How did they live for 125 years on an average? How did they perform in terms of their relationship with society, with the earth, with everything? How is that they were joyful, easy to laugh, and happy with whatever they have? So, what are those potentialities of the human being who is enhanced in so many ways that is missing in the modern life? First of all, modern life is based on thought. We think mind is everything. Rene Descartes, he said, I think, therefore I am. He kind of stopped one step short. Thinking is happening to me. You feel the thinking, right? You are aware of the thinking. That means your awareness is ahead of your thinking. So you are aware, therefore you are. You are aware consciously, that way you are here. That never goes. But we crowd that awareness, that consciousness with lots of stuff. Krishnamurti said one time, emptying the contents of the consciousness, that is meditation. Okay, so how do you empty them? Or how do you not allow them to take over you? So I also presented to you, there is a type of meditation which is advanced where you realize that there is no mind, there are only thoughts. Then what happens is the so-called mind you build up, the so-called labels you give to the mind and all that, they are gone. Then you see only thoughts. Then you can manage the thoughts, being aware of them. If you are not aware and you are taken in by the thoughts, that is what is happening in the modern life because of the information overload, because excessive information that we don't need. We don't allow the mind to rest. We don't allow the mind to be quiet and empty. Once you understand that, remarkably, your cellular health also improves inside. Otherwise, if you are reacting and you are having bunch of thoughts and those thoughts may be negative and they induce stress hormones, your cellular health will go down. See how simple that is? So can you be quiet for 5 minutes in the morning? Quiet in the real quiet, nothing moving in your mind. Just settle your body, close your eyes, take deep breaths, and stay with the breath. And don't allow any thoughts coming up overwhelm you. Let them come, observe them, and then let them go. So you are the sky of awareness. You're vast, and then you have that kind of one. In that, so many thoughts coming as clouds, so many storms coming as emotions and all that. But you learn to observe them rather than indulging in them or really suppressing them. You don't do both of them. Then you learn to observe things as they come up. And I loved one spiritual thing was told to me: the our inner self, our soul, or our energy, or our life force, or our sense of self that we always feel, that is telling the mind, hey mind, I am not interested in whatever you have to say. I will observe you. I will not suppress you. I will not indulge with you. And also, you don't have any idea where I'm going, what I want to do. So think of that. That you think your egoic self, you think your personality, that's not you. But what is the sense of I am behind you is the self. And once you understand that, then the true enhancement really flowers from within you, and you kind of realize within and then radiate that energy outward. Okay? So these are not any particular faith or any particular ism. We can take tidbits of wisdom from everybody. But as a human being, you have an intelligence that can think of the things that happened, remember them, and learn the lessons and dump all the other data that we don't need. But what we don't do is we accumulate a lot of stuff in the terms of repeated thought patterns. They become your default network, right? And then they operate independently, like the machine learning that's going on in the AI now. We also create so much of circuits of thoughts that they take on their own life because they're so strong. You built it up unconsciously for so many. These are the elephants that you create, both for the body, for the mind. And those are conditioned, they operate on their own. They're pretty strong. You cannot do them just because you are intellectually resolution. You have to work at it, retrain the whole condition. Okay. Hi, Sharmi, how are you? Prasad, are you there still on the Zoom? You must be there.
Yes, I'm on mute. I'm following, sir.
Okay, very good. Any questions anybody has? No?
I'll ask you a little later.
Okay. So,
thank you.
anything not clear from what I was saying, where I'm going with this retreat, and come up and tell me whether I'm clear or not, you know. So I just want to be absolutely clear about what we're trying to do here. Okay. It's not like I don't want to give too many promises or instant gratification. I want to look at wellness. Is that only I kind of dream, I kind of imagine, or maybe it falls into my lap? Or is my lot about just getting ill and treating them and then going back? Or am I so unconscious that pure wellness is within our grasp, but our civilization, our society, our culture, our own indifference, all these things. I says in the mountains, Prasad. That's good. So it's a kind of understanding that, then working on the small things. See, what I want to present is how is the modern society making us more ill than well? What are the things that we are doing that are really influencing us unconsciously? You know, I want to bring focus to that and then understand how can I reverse this? How can I get away from that conditioning of the elephants of the habits? Maybe I'm eating fast foods all the time. Maybe I'm not really preparing food by myself. Maybe I don't eat too many vegetables and all that. So all those small things, you pay attention, then you can take any particular subject and we'll go deeper into that. So that's why I'm not saying everything will be solved for you in that particular first retreat, but it's ongoing habits. I want to understand and do them. Small changes, but permanent changes. Don't listen to it like entertainment. Don't come here just say information. You got to really pay attention and then give your sincere attention to what's going on in your life, what is possible, what is potential, and are you going towards that? Okay. You may be following a dietitian, but do you follow the dietitian with specific questions about the content of the diet or the preparation of the diet or the consumption of the diet, and also understand what are the latest breakthroughs that you could take, what are the ancient way of using food as medicine? You see how much you can go into that. So many doctors are not trained in the nutrition, but I realized that very early in my medical practice, and then I went and learned about Ayurveda. I learned about Mediterranean diet. I learned about American diet and all that. Okay, so it's an ongoing thing. It's a kind of helping people to look at them with a attitude like, how can I improve my energy? How can I really make my diet cure a lot of illnesses within me? What is that food as a medicine? Okay. So all these things are going to be discussed, and then basically it all depends upon you how best you're going to use the retreat to really, don't come there just like any other talk and then just listen and go and forget about it. It's a waste of time. Okay. Come there with the intention of, I'm going to look at my own wellness in so many ways, in the way that Dr. Rao is presenting what is the physical wellness, what is the mental wellness, what is the societal wellness, what is the global planetary wellness. And when you look at it, all these are connected with our behavior, our activities, our thinking and all. So we're going to do a comprehensive view of what is the ancient human being was like, what is the modern human being evolving into, what are the problems we have, what are the advantages we have, how can we correct those problems that were either created with the modern society, modern culture, or modern ways of living. That's the main thing, how your lifestyles are. That is where you really have to pay attention to and learn from the ancients. They live, they ate the real food, okay, and they ate food that is not really contaminated, okay, and they have methods that were very agreeable to our intestine and all that, and they have wisdom for centuries of wisdom. We're eating anti-inflammatory foods, so many things are there. So once you understand that, to bring it back to take some effort, because our air is polluted, our water is polluted, our soil is polluted. Unless you really attend to the soil, that's where your responsibility to the planet comes. That's where Prasad comes, and he's an ecologist. So like that, people can contribute to what is going on to improve our vitality in the nutrition. right? And then once you cultivate that, maybe you want to start a garden. Maybe you want to use compost as a fertilizer. Maybe you want to really enrich the topsoil by understanding what's the trouble with the topsoil, what we are doing, why it is robbing all the vitality. The more you work on the topsoil, the more conscious plate you can have in front of you. That is that is really raised with your consciousness going through the revolution of understanding what we are doing to harm the earth. So all these things come into place. Okay, you can't just wish away. I'm going to be well because I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. That's good, but then that's not enough, right? How come I can quit smoking, for example? If you are smoking, right? That's what it is, right, Prasad?
Yes, sir. Dr. Rao, you have raised an important thing. This sounds actually a 360 degrees approach to master our own wellness. So many individuals do not understand these interlinks. Could you spend 1 or 2, maybe 3 minutes on this, to make this understandable to many common people?
Yeah, it's a very simple, Prasad. It starts with each individual person. Each human being only can do with himself. But he wants to understand how the world is influencing him. Could be modern society, could be information society, could be misinformed by our education. So all those things come into place. But the main thing is, how am I feeling? How am I calming myself and looking deeper within? See, looking inward is a big deal for a lot of people. Looking deeper within without blaming or judging themselves is a big thing for a lot of people. So what I am inviting is, okay, take these 5 layers, panchakoshas, okay, and then look at each layer separately. Don't be bothered by what you find, but you will. The more you have the self knowledge about how you are working, physical organism, energy, and your mind and heart, and all that, the more you clean up yourself just by paying attention to what's going on. And each human being change, he does affect the society around him. It could be a family, it could be a company, it could be society as a whole. That's how the changes are brought up. And then you not only educate other people, you become a symbol so that people want to know about it, they want to. But then there's so many forces on them. People think, oh, I'm a human being, I can do this, and that's okay. But the other kind is you are a human being. You have an intelligence that you have not tapping. That's where you are asleep. You are not awake. Awakening is to that inner potential. So all you do is start with yourself and understand the big picture. You don't have to go to big picture right away. All you can do is what you can do with each day. How are you in the morning? How are you working? How are you coming home? How are you having this recreation? Are you led by some unconscious drives within you? All those things will come into fore. You don't have to jump and say, oh, I'm stupid, I did all that. No. You have realized, that means you have a chance to come out of it. So this is what it is. Self-responsibility is first thing. Second thing is not only outward things, but pay attention to the inward. That's the second one. And then take your time to recondition yourself. See, our job is not to take everybody to self-realization. That is their individual choice. Our job is to, how can you maintain your wellness in a proactive way by realizing what is not working because you're deliberately doing something, or you're unconsciously doing because you are indicated wrongly. Say, many people modern time, they think, but thinking supposed to be your slave, not your master. That's a big deal for a lot of people because they don't know anything except think from morning till evening, go sleep thinking and getting up. Simple measure of, when you get up, don't allow your thinking machine come into you right away, activated, and then going forward, take some time to be in the present and then think focusedly, consciously. I have a job to do, I have a service to do, I have a relationship to do, then focus your thought like that. How much people spend on what is they thinking, what they are speaking, what they are doing. Manasa, vacha, karmana. That's the ancient wisdom said. What you think, you should be speaking. What you are speaking, you should be doing. That alignment, the synchronization is not there. It's not because they don't have anything. They are busy doing other. They are getting lost doing stuff outwardly, which is okay. But we also spend time with how you are inner being. See, my focus is on the inner being, and then all my outward activities radiate from me. I do a morning routine so that I prepare people who are entrepreneurs, who are physicians, who are a lot of people go and work in the modern society. Why do they have to react so vehemently, emotionally, their turmoil? Why are they not enjoying their work more like a service giving to people? Why are they expending so much energy, so much stress and burnout when you can work in flow? Working in the flow is a real thing. Suppose you know something, you don't have to think about it, you just do it. Then you may do surgery for about 4 6 hours. It doesn't seem like you have worked that hard because you are focused in that, in no other thing. That is the flow like state. Working the flow like state is what I talking about, what I do. Anything that I do, I give my all. Like I'm doing this meeting now. I'm not in a hurry to close it at one and go skid. I only do what I like. I only do what I love. I am doing only what I am good at. Right? So if you identify this is what I want to do in my life, this is what I love to do, I have the capacity to do, but also this provides somebody's need. I'm fulfilling somebody's need. So it all starts with us. It all starts with being inward orientation too, and understanding the external world. Change inside radiates outside. Not even change, recognition of what we are. Melissa was saying, yeah, I was joyful, I was happy, just like that. And returning back to that, remembering that, that's it. That for that you need the intelligence. Now your intelligence is taken away by the society, by compulsions, by your own mechanical thinking and all
Yeah, I have an ancillary question. Since you talked about fast-paced approaches on several things in our daily life, and not just for work-related approach, we tend to go in rush for everything, ignoring our own wellness. Forget about the others that we have around us, including families. So, how do this rush thing would be impacting our own wellness by all means? Could you throw some light on it?
Yeah, the compulsion, the uh, fears, the concerns about consequences, these are all conditioned responses. So you allow yourself to be impulsive, compulsive from within. Suppose you stop and say, why do I have to have this compulsive thing about this? That is when that kind of changes. Somebody yelling at you, somebody saying, don't be so compulsive, don't do obsessive compulsive and all that. That's like a derogatory, insulting. People will not change for that. They may be feeling, oh, I'm a human being, I have all these influences that make me compulsive. That is not true. Human being has enormous potential and we conveniently ignore. And when we do something, I've kept the glass away, I'm not drinking for so many years. But then once in a while I have this impulse, I take one drink, I'm only human being. That is a false way to look at it. You see, you should be able to really tap into the other side of human being, which is the enhancement I'm talking about. You have a abundance within you, you have a power within you, not an egoic power. Okay, but most of them are lost in the ecogenic impulses and all. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this intelligence that is open to change. For example, you want your life in a certain way, and obviously life will be the way it is. It is going to change. The suffering happens when you are stuck with that idea: my life should be comfortable, my life should be no troubles, my life should be peaceful, happy, and all that. That's not never going to happen. The life is constant change. The only certain thing in life is change. And if you have that attitude, then you embrace the change and you embrace what is in front of you rather than what it should be according to you. Then you perform better with the life as it is presented to you. And because you have no preconditions, okay, I will deal with it. What is important is develop that inner resilience to deal with the challenges of life. That is my focus on my morning routine or later on. Everything is about two things. How can you be attentive to everything that's happening? Second thing is, how can you have that inner resilience that meets the challenges of life? Suppose you have something and you are worried about it, and you are worrying, and that worrying robs your energy. You don't feel like I have the enough energy to face it. But if you understand, I don't have to go on like, let me pay attention to what is environment, let me do it. Then you have all the energy that is not wasted in worry or depression or anxiety, any of those things. And then you see how many people are taking drugs to make them stronger, whatever they feel. And then down the line, that becomes a problem. A housewife in America, uh, suburban, white and working and all that, she began to take her job, she began to take her business seriously, and then she found a lot of resistance and stress at work. So when she comes home, she takes a glass of wine just to steady herself. That's a mistake. What I'm talking about is, how can you find as a human being your own intelligence, your own awareness, so that you have the inner resilience, so you don't have to go for the weaknesses. Addiction, right? A lot of people tell me a lot of stories about the drug addiction, but I ask them, are you addicted to your thinking, your way of thinking, your way of set of thoughts, your way of looking at, oh, I'm I'm this country or this society, this whatever that you think of. Are you able to see them like they are clouds in the sky? If you're not, you are identifying with the thought, you are identifying with your roles, with your models and all that, you are lost. So you are not bringing your intelligence, rather your thoughts, which is conditioned by somebody else. That is why modern society doesn't have a hold on the psychological problems, because they're all based on somebody's thought. And that's what they say. Suppose you go to therapist, he will take you to the childhood. Maybe that is enough. But then that can create guilt in some people, that can create some insecurity and all that. But suppose you say, here and now, what are you? Why do you want to continue something that has happened long time ago? Then living in the present, also living in the present with awareness, not with a bunch of thoughts. What this is called percepting of the what is. Perception. That means it's not dependent on the data. It only sees, perceives what is in front of you. When you are established in awareness, you do your entire day like that. And then use thought consciously, not get caught in the thought and say, oh, the thoughts are overwhelming me. I'm thinking all the time. Everybody is doing that because they are not paying attention. The difference between awareness, which ancient wisdoms are always based on body, mind awareness, body, mind, medicine, all those things. Okay, there are awareness practices, whereas modern thing about reductionist medicine, only Newtonian physics. But we moved in physics also quantum, where it is all energy. Human beings are not just mechanical people. You have a body, you have a thought, you have emotion, you have spirit, you have so much with you. You have this intelligence. You can be aware. Right in the morning, you get up and be aware. But immediately you invite the thought, and it comes, and immediately, oh, what is there in front of me? What is the agenda? This is the thing. But what I invite in the morning report is, morning routine that I do is establish yourself in the presence. You already woke up in the presence. Be there and don't let your thought take over you. Use the thought when you need it, but don't let it be the master. That's the case with me. I always talk about be aware and use thought consciously and end thought consciously. People are not doing that. But the more you allow thought to unconsciously go on, they become your compulsions. Because neuroplasticity tells us we can create our own cortex. By repeating the same thought again and again, we create a default network of thoughts, thought patterns, thought routines, belief, and all those things. Okay? So when you do that, then you are at the mercy of something you created unconsciously. Where is the compulsion coming from? From within you, from within your habit that you have done before. So neuroplasticity tells you, change your thought, be positive about something and you're coming, and then repeat that every time you come. Then the habit. This is what I teach about New Year resolution people make and they fall off. Why? Because they have created conditioned elephants of habits, both body and mind, before. Just because you resolve, I want to stop it, they're not sleeping. The elephants will come, they will overwhelm you. Understanding that, being aware of that in operation, it's not good change one day. You have to gradually retrain yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that is how we are going to go deeper and deeper into. I'm going to show you who is an enhanced human being. What is that I talk about, and then you'll see the slides about it and all that. Then you'll also see what is the ultimate empowered human being. What is that? So from inside out. I'm not talking about outside. You can use a lot of biological stuff and a lot of technology to make a lot of things work. We are working as scientists on the outward thing like that. But then we're talking about our inner consciousness, life force, sense of being. That is what you have to be. You are now your conclusions about yourself, your roles about yourself. Why do I have to call myself a doctor? Am I a doctor first or a human being first? I'm a human being first. If I can remember that every day, then I won't get carried away just by the image. I can function as a role as a doctor, but I don't identify myself only as a doctor. I'm a human being working as a doctor, role as a doctor. But that doesn't mean I stop learning. I stop opening up myself. So by knowing the difference, that's the result.
Excellent explanation.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. So anybody? Sharmi, are you there? You have any question? I don't know whether she can hear me.
I'm here, yeah. In between, I couldn't. I very much agree with you, Doctor.
Yeah, very good.
Being the being, and then becoming. We are always trying to become something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why when I heard Ramana Maharshi saying, you don't have to think a lot, you don't have to get a lot of knowledge, just be. You don't have to meditate a lot, just be. But that just be is the very hard thing now because so much information dumped on us. Okay, and we are accepting it unconsciously, right? So anyway, repeating, we're going to have this retreat on 17th and 18th on Zoom at 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. each day. And both days, you will have access of the same Zoom, so you just register yourself and give us an email so that we can send you uh, the pre-assessment and also some tips about how to prepare for that, and also a workbook so that you can work and then you can take home some practical points that you would like to understand more, or like the resources will be available to for all the students so that they can go there and find out those resources and enlighten themselves and really apply them. It's a slow process. This is going to be very personal to you, and as you look yourself inward, as you look at your world, everything will be more clear to you, and you will be able to function that way. Okay, it's an ongoing thing. It's not going to be just instant gratification. Okay, actually, you will go away from that instant gratification stuff because you understand, why do I have to have this entertainment all the time? Why do I have to think all the time? Why do I have to not go there and just play with the nature? We are not doing those things. The more technology improves, the more chips are installed in your brain, the more you are going to be taken away, and then robots coming and they will be taking away a lot of stuff. Then what are you going to do? All your cognition is taken away something. Somebody else will write, somebody else will speak, somebody doing all that. This is already happening. Your emails can be viewed by the entire app, and then they can compose emails for you. So if the life like that, or your cognitive things are not occupying you, but you're used to that, that's the danger you developed yourself. Me, I don't give cognition importance. I give perception importance. I give moment to moment awareness importance. Right? So life is, every moment is new to me. So I'm not caught in the thought network. I use the thought. Like I have to speak to you now, I'm speaking to you. I'm using my thought. There's nothing wrong with the thought. But how we use it is the problem. Thought's role is there for practical purposes and all that. My evolution on this was Jiddu Krishnamurti said about that. Why are you slave to your thoughts? That was the question for him. And I said, why do you have to bring the thinking all the time in whatever you do? Physical stuff, mechanical stuff, that's fine. Best practices to improve roads, to improve, that's all fine. Science, wonderful road. But if the science is making you so comfortable and you becoming lazy, obese, you are becoming lazy, you are not awake to anything, you are really obsessively thinking a lot, and then you can't handle that burnout and stress that people are experiencing because there's so much information out there. It's very simple to test yourself. Can I be 5 minutes without any thought, any thinking, just stay still? People can't stay even 15 seconds. Something else will come. Why? Because you are building the network. There is a way to what is called prakshalana. That means in Sanskrit, get rid of all that junk. We are not doing that. We are putting all the data in our mind. Prasad is there. He is working for the planet. And he wants to show the concern that he has for the planet. He wants to work, he wants to live so that other people are inspired by what he is doing for the earth. Instead of that, he is only talking about it continuously because he has all these facts and figures of what is going on. See, if you take it, I was listening to Jeffrey Sachs. I don't know you guys know him or not. He's a very informed professor, and he was talking about he being head of some environmental survey. 1,500 scientists were used to come and report to him. Every time they came for the last 10, 20 years, every time, not even now, they said, this is much worse than what we anticipated. They had the carbon limits, right? And once they established, they came back the next day and said, we're already beyond that limit. And now we are taking it towards the coal, not towards the real new ways of getting our energy, alternate ways. So where are we going? See, that's because the people who want to loudly say that's not it, it's not true. So what the scientists are reporting to us once it is, but now they said we are beyond that. That's why I have these fires in Los Angeles or these floods in some other area. Everywhere he said he goes all over the world. Everywhere he went, somebody said there is a serious climate crisis in our area. They are recommending don't live near a river, don't go to the coast area. We have seen the damage of the Los Angeles fire did last time. We've seen the floods, we have seen the storms, vicious thing. And the scientists are telling us we are really beyond. So how do you respond when you see that kind of threat, that kind of fear and everything is there? How do these young people can live when they so they say inner resilience you can cultivate and you can adapt to the changes and all that. And there are already people working in Bangladesh. If the whole soil goes to they are like that. Their water is coming, sea rise is so high, so they have to develop how to live on boats when everything is water, how to raise crops on the boats, how to raise crops on the water itself. So they are inventing that. So, but the inner resilience is something that. But you know what? EV vehicles are the solution for reducing our pollution, right? So, but the Europe says, "Oh, we are good at fusion engines; that we are going to do that," and they want to go back to coal. America wants to go back to coal, but whereas China is into the alternate vehicles, electric vehicles, very well done, right? So they are going to help the world. So we can understand that, and we can also see why we are not. So that's intelligence. That is like a citizenry responsibility to take action on the threats we face. That is wellness too. If the planet is gone, where is the wellness and everything? Already we're suffering the toxic effects of the weather, right? So anyway, that is how you got to let your mind aware, open up, not become slave to our own inner essence. The people who don't know about anything about awareness, they talk, oh, intellect is everything. Oh, I can think through everything. So it's a sad people are immersed with that. Experiment yourself. How am I when I get up in the morning? Can I be 5 minutes, not invite the thought, not allow the thought to come over? That is what Ramana Maharshi talked about. It's called I thought, he said. When you get up in the morning, you are in the presence, you are aware. But you are mentally conditioned, you allow your I thought to come up, and that's the first thought, then the second thought. It may happen very quickly, but that is the mechanism by which thought builds up its own network and draws in you and gets caught. You go to the work, you are using your thought to work. You go come back home, all the entertainment, everything, again thought. and you get up in the morning, you again raise that. The more you are living like that, the more the thoughts become a problem for you. That is the burnout we see in a lot of people. But in this information age, you can understand what is the proper use of thought and what is really allowing the thought to be our own master instead of our slave. Okay, many people are stuck in that, and then they may be very upset when I say that, but it's their own life. They can look at it. Okay, all right. So I think we are here almost oh, more than an hour now. So anybody has any questions for me to stay back and answer them? But basically, this is about why I want to do this retreat, what I want to participate to get, and how they can improve their wellness. Okay, by understanding our own capacities, our own innate abundance that we have, and you can live very uh, not in fear, not in anxiety, not in depression, but live long in a healthy body, healthy mind. Not only live long, but live long with joy and participate in your activities better, relationship better. And then when the death comes and all that, you have done a good life, right? So those kind of simple things we're going to talk about, but they can go pretty deep, I said, but it depends upon each person how deep you want to go and you want to put. But to start with, am I well in my body? Do I have a lot of problems with my mind and all this? Some people have that. Okay, they can't really have a quiet mind. I enjoy that stillness of our mind. That's a natural function. Do you know that? Stillness of mind is a natural function. That's when we don't have to go. But when we allow this machine to rake up more and more revolutions, the default network, and that takes over, and now you are at the mercy of that. Okay? You be very focused, you be very concentrated, you work in a flow. All those are advantages of having you allowed your system to enhance itself. Okay? All right, so if nobody has any questions, Prasad, are you okay? Any other questions?
Sir, I have no question, but I can't leave without thanking you for spreading the wellness around the globe. Let's keep doing this great work. This is important for the betterment of humanity.
Yeah, that's my work. My service is to how can we promote proactive wellness? That means how can we get more people be proactive about their wellness, not wait for the illnesses to develop, chronic illness to persist. All that suffering is not needed. You could take charge of the pillars of wellness and you could live very good life for a long time, enjoy. You don't have to just exist and take medications. You take medications if you need them, but you don't have to continue them unless you have something very advanced and something that is not curable. But there is things can happen. People can have a bad cancer and they can succumb. Or people can have a real morbidity, they cannot walk, and then with whatever ability you have left, you can live very well if your consciousness is well. So what you need is the revolution in that. Then it will go to the mind and the body too. So my service is only one thing. How can I point out to people what I learned about ancient wisdom? Also, how can I fuse it with modern culture, modern problems, so that I can help them not to live like that, but then just come back. That's the calling. That's something not in my plan or anything. It just evolved into that. I have worked as a physician, treated so many illnesses for so many years, but also worked the root cause medicine. I told my patients, you are going to get your treatment of your illness, but we are going to look into your cause or anything preventable. We'll do that first. So That helped a lot of people stay away from the emergency rooms and the hospitalizations fewer times. That's a direct benefit that they themselves saw it. Initially, they complained, I'm asking them to control their diet, I'm asking them to exercise, I'm asking them to sit quiet, I'm asking them to take deep breaths and all this. They affectionately told me, you give us too much homework. But the more they did, they found out they were not going to the emergency room that much like before. Even the people who have illnesses, they cut down their emergency room visits dramatically. And then that's all because I just tell them, you are doing the work. I'm test directing you, but you are controlling diet, you are all those things you are doing. And I used to point that out to them, and they draw strength from that they could do that. And then the benefit is they were not hospitalized that much. And also, the people who are waiting for the death, they were prepared for the death. So they died peacefully rather than traumatically. People who lost people were in grief reaction, but they came out of it very quickly. Even my own my own sister, and she is now into 80s, but when she lost her daughter, who she was 55 or something, sudden heart attack, and she was in full grief. But and then she also has a grandchild, it's 18 years of that girl, right? Both of them. I had to treat the 18-year-old and the 84-year-old. But bringing that understanding about death and what it is all about, they didn't have to suffer the grief reaction. That's unnecessary suffering. But everybody says, we can feel grief like this. No, that's really doing something without the information, without being knowledgeable about it. So death is natural, but then death can be untimely, can be quick, can be really young people, then people. But then how your mind responds to death, that's where the grief reaction helps a lot. I'm a geriatrician. I did my geriatrics but then most of the understanding about the death and dying and grief reaction came from ancient wisdom. So I helped many people not to go through that suffering of the death, but to accept it, understand it, and deal with the intelligence. Not dismissing, you'll feel sadness, you'll feel the missing and all. But your mind don't have to go through the grief reaction where actual physical damage happens to the brain. But we still allow that to everybody. Even the educated people allow. So there's so much you can learn from the ancients, how they say. Shankaracharya, for example, his father comes and sits down with him and tells him you should be good and all that, and he lies down and he lets his life go. They have that kind of capacity to die when they want to die. This is not like a miracle or anything. It's a kind of understanding, elevating ourselves to that kind of understanding. We don't have to go into that. But if you have somebody died, if you consult me, I will tell you what it's all about. And then usually it takes not the time, it is a level of your perception of a current understanding we have. You don't have to have a guarantee that you're going to be born again. No, we don't know. You don't have to have like a conclusion, everything is in my hand. That's not it either. It can happen. But when it happens, how you respond is important. It doesn't happen just like that. You got to listen carefully. You have to go into it yourself, and you have to explore it. Anyway, for now, you can die to every day as it is happening. Leave it. Don't cling to it. Let it go. All right, then I'm going to close this now, and I will see you again when I can, and we'll go from there. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. Bye bye.